Are there any songs that, not for any other reason other than you're just kind of over it, that you don't play anymore?
1994 is one that we may not ever play again, ever.
Why do you say it like that?
I don't know.
94, yeah.
A jam, man.
It was just, I don't know.
On the Bobby Bones Show now.
Jason Aldean.
Jason, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you guys, man. Thanks for having me.
I think a lot of times we go and we talk about music stuff. Let me ask you some just really generic human questions, because sometimes I can get lost in, oh, what about this number one? So, what'd you have for breakfast this morning?
I actually just had a Nutri-Grain bar in the green room. That was my breakfast today.
That's all?
So, yeah.
Do you prioritize breakfast at all?
Not really. Usually my breakfast for me is usually coffee or, Red Bull, and then lunch is kind of my first meal of the day. So breakfast not really a huge thing.
Was that because breakfast wasn't growing up a huge thing, or did you just end up not wake up? Hey, the road life, sometimes you don't wake up till noon.
Yeah. Well, and two, I feel like when I was younger in school, that kind of thing, I was always like running late for school and sleep as much as possible, then jump up, grab something at, head out the door. So it's just not one of those things really for me that's, I wake up, I want to drink coffee and kind of wake up for a little bit, and then usually by lunch I'm hungry.
See, I like this. Why don't we go around the room, ask a very human, normal question for Jason that people wouldn't normally ask because they're like, he's super famous. We better keep it like professional. So superhuman. Amy, go.
Okay.
I'll go. Where do you order your underwear from?
Oh,
because I got mine from Amazon. I get mine from Amazon. Well, I was gonna go dirty,
and then I thought that was too weird,
and
then you did it.
I'm gonna tell you because I have to buy mine in 3-packs, and they're expensive now. If you like to get nice underwear, where do you order yours from?
Usually Under Armour.
Okay, good.
I'm an Under Armour guy, so
good plug. Good plug. Yeah. Amy, go ahead.
Yeah. So when's the last time you went to the grocery store?
Boom.
Last week probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Yourself?
Yeah. I mean, well, Britt and I went.
Oh, you're together.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would never go there by myself. That no reason.
Because
to
you're
do that.
famous, or because you just don't want to go by yourself?
I just don't have. I don't need to go.
Yeah.
Britt easily, she does the grocery shopping or whatever, and so I'll go with her. So I just never have a reason to just stop by the grocery store.
Golly.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Eddie?
Do you answer the front door when it rings?
Good question.
Like, are you like a pizza? You order pizza. Are you the guy that comes down and be like, "Thank you, sir"?
Oh yeah, all the DoorDash people around my area know me by now. So we're big DoorDashers.
We're big Uber eaters.
Yeah.
And do you have your picture of you though on your profile of your head? No.
No.
It's not like you holding up an ACM or something.
No, but where we live, I mean, I feel like everybody kind of knows where our house is in our area over there. So, by the time they pull up to the gate, they're like, "Oh, I know this house," and then come up. I'm like, "Hey, Fred, what's up, man? Thank you."
Okay. One more Lunchbox.
Yeah. How often do you get rid of your towel? Like, you use a towel for you dry off out of a shower. How many uses until you change?
I don't know. I'm good for a couple days. 2 days, 3 days, whatever it is. I feel like if I'm drying off with it, I'm clean. So just hang it back up, let it dry off.
Yeah, I felt it. What about jeans? How many times do we wear jeans before we have to rewash them?
Once.
What?
Oh, once.
What?
Yeah. I wash clothes. I don't wear like clothes multiple days or like jeans multiple times, anything like that.
You're just at that point though too, where you could just like get rid of it.
Just burn them. He wears them one time and then burns them.
No, I love jeans. Are my favorite thing I own probably. So, but I'm just not a re-wearer. They start not. I don't know. They sagging and looking weird and what. I just rather wash them.
Okay, now let's get to the real stuff. You feel good about that, guys?
That was good.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. I want to ask a question, not even about why you're here, but the song, you and John Morgan, you were on John's song. That song went number one.
Yeah.
So congratulations, because he's your guy, right?
Yeah.
So you signed him. Will you talk about that?
Yeah. So John Morgan's a guy we've been working with for 4 or 5 years now, and he was a guy kicking around town. He got in an Uber downtown somewhere and ran into a guy named John Edwards, who was a writer here in town, a friend of ours, and so John Edwards connected him with Kurt Allison, Tully Kennedy, two of my bandmates, and they wrote with him one time and, cut a demo, and they were like, "You need to check this guy out." So I, got him to send me some stuff and just fell in love with the guy, man. I love his voice. I love his songwriting. I love what he does. He's a great player, guitar player, and kind of came up in a bluegrass background. So we just started working with him, man, and I just thought he was great and wanted everybody else to hear it. So I signed him to like an imprint that I have with BMG called Night Train Records. I signed him to that, and we started a publishing company signed him as a songwriter and all the things, man. And so that was, his first big hit, Friends Like That. It was kind of taken off anyway. And then, we just kind of had the idea to like put me on it to try and, really get it going and kind of get him out there. And so for that thing to go number one was huge for him and just our little company that we have. And so it was awesome. But he's a talented guy, man. I'm glad everybody's getting a chance to hear him.
And in relation to that, 3 of the people you just mentioned, Tully, Jonathan Edwards, John Morgan, they were 3 of the writers on Whiskey Drink.
Yes, and Kurt Allison, John Morgan, John Edwards, and Tully.
Yeah.
We're all
So
writers on that.
basically same group you're talking
Yeah.
about right there. So
And that's kind of what happened. I mean, once we signed John, we kind of started our, it was almost like our little group, right? So we go in and we write stuff for my record, or he writes stuff for his record, or whatever it is, and it's just like our little unit where a lot of our songs have come out of that. The big Carrie Underwood duet we had came out of that. A couple, if not all, guys were writers on those songs, but Try Out in a Small Town was Kurt and Tully, and Whiskey Drink, and they got I think those guys have like 16 songs on the next album, so it's like they're just on it right now.
I saw a picture of you in studio. Yeah, so I guess that means you're recording, or you just like to take selfies in studios. I didn't know which one.
No, I actually hate selfies, but no, we've been in the studio probably the last 6-8 months, and got about 21 songs cut for the album, I think, and got a couple duet things that we're gonna put on there, and some different things. So it's really cool. I just finished my part, singing everything probably the last 3 weeks, and so getting ready to go to mix and master everything. We don't really have a date for a release or whatever, but I do think the next single will be off the new album. So
What do you do when you have a song that's a massive hit that's a duet, but the duet partner isn't there with you when you do it live?
Like with Carrie, with our song, we just had her cut some stuff for video, and try to make that cool. We did the same thing with the Kelly Clarkson duet. So, you just really just try to get some content for them, and maybe every couple years you try and change it up, get them back into a room somewhere and film some more stuff for the show if you want to keep adding the song into the set.
So you sing with their voice on a screen?
Mhm.
So you can't like be off. You can't like decide to do an extra run that they're not used to because they can't change.
that one's pretty locked in.
Yeah,
for sure.
that would be kind of weird. Or you have a version where she goes, "What are you doing, dude?" Like from the screen.
Oh, stop! Everybody, stop! I didn't sing that part. Well, yeah, no. It's I remember for her, we went into like a sound stage and shot a lot of stuff on a green screen with her, and then I shot some stuff for her to use in her show so that she could do the song. So, and then like I said, every couple of years, if you want to change it up, you just call them and say, "Hey, can we have a day to go change this?" And do it like that.
We were talking about Pearl Jam, and they don't play "Last Kiss," and that was their biggest like radio song, but they didn't write that song. And then if Amy went to the show, she'd be waiting for
I
"Last."
think that's the one a guy from Thomaston, Georgia, wrote that song, which is where my dad's from.
Back in like the 50s.
Back in the day,
Yeah. And so we're talking about songs that people don't play. For a long time, Radiohead didn't play "Creep." Are there any songs that, not for any other reason other than you're just kind of over it, that you don't play anymore?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few. Johnny Cash is one that was just kind of like, we quit playing a while back, and just every once in a while we'll throw it in, but that's one. 1994 is one that we may not ever play again, ever.
Why do you say it like that?
It's a
I don't know,
good one.
man.
94, yeah.
It's a jam, man.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know. It was just such a different thing than what I do, and it was just kind of one of those things that at the time it was like, oh, this is fun, this is cool, and then now to play it live, it's like, man, it just doesn't go with anything else we do, right? So, yeah, I mean, there's some things like that, but the big ones are the ones that you try to keep in all the time. Dirt Road Anthem, Amarillo Sky, those kind of things are always in.
Do you have to sometimes turn them in, 3 of them into one song? You have 29 number one songs. So do you ever have to do like
Like a medley
Yeah.
type thing? Yeah, sometimes. I mean, we'll do, I remember one year we did Why and Asphalt Cowboy and something else, like we just, The Truth. And so we just kind of like put all those into like a little medley and did it to try and at least do a little bit of each one of those songs, but, it's a good problem to have. We're, almost 30 number ones now or whatever. And so, that's the thing. You want to go out and play hits and play the ones that you feel like people come to see. And, we're not going to go play a deep cut off an album somewhere. So, and now, I mean, we can't fit all the songs into the show. So you just try to, this year we may take some things out that we'll put back in next year and just kind of change it up each year.
1994.
I don't know about that one.
Let's get that one going again. When you look back,
Thomas Rhett wrote that, I think.
I know. I just looked it up just to see. I was like, dang. I've seen if you're one of the writers, because then it's like, oh, it's your song.
The only thing I loved about that song is that it shouted out Joe Diffie. I did love that.
Joe.
Diffie.
Yeah.
Joe Diffie.
you did that at an award show too, it seems like, right? Did you like open an award show with us at one point? Just say no if I'm wrong.
I hope not.
Okay. Close enough. What song of all of your hits almost did not happen?
Big Green Tractor, I would say. That was one that Michael Knox was really my producer. He was really fired up about that song, and it was just a little. It's kind of like 1994 to me. It's like a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek lyric, which I don't typically do those kind of things, and that was one that he had to kind of talk me into a little bit. And to this day, it's the longest-running number one that we had, which was a 4-week number one, and that was one that almost didn't happen.
You did it at an award show.
I probably did
1994?
that one.
Yeah,
I did.
SCMs.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Sorry.
Have I won an award since then?
That's why.
Oh, I'm looking at it here. It says Blake Shelton introduced Jason Aldean. Hunter. Who knows? I don't even care. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't either. Other questions. With all the success you've had, what is even success now? Because you've even had the Decade Awards. Like what feels good now?
What feels good now to me is like just going in, making albums that I want to make and the kind of songs that I want to do, and and still going out and playing live. To me, that's what I love to. That's why I got into the business. It wasn't for making records or any of that stuff. I just like to perform. I like to be on stage. I like traveling with the guys, and when you're going out playing your own songs, I mean, and 20,000 people singing them back to you, I mean, that's pretty cool. So to me, the awards and all the things that have happened before, and those are really cool, and I don't take that for granted at all. I mean, it's been a really cool run, and a lot of things that I never thought would happen, and now it's just like enjoy it, man. It's been a great ride, and I don't know how long it's going to last, but it's been 20 years and we're still in the game. So just doing what I always did and just having fun with it.
What do you think, or where? Because I see pictures of you all over the place. Where do you live more, here or there?
Well, when it's touring season, when it's time to tour, really Nashville, because it's just easier for me to go everywhere from here. Get on the bus every week and all the things. Usually the first part of the year, like when it's cold here and the weather sucks and all that, I'm Florida. I go to Florida for that, and I'm down there for usually 3 months or so. And but Nashville's like home base, I would say.
They leave you alone down there?
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it down there. So.
You like the beach? Beach guy?
Yeah, live right on the beach. It's awesome.
I'm not a beach guy, but you grew up in Georgia.
Well, so when I was a year old, my parents moved to South Florida. My dad was in the Air Force, and he got stationed at Homestead Air Force Base down south of Miami. And so the whole time they got divorced when I was 3, and my dad stayed down there my whole life, and my mom moved back to Georgia where her family was from. And so I kind of grew up. Every summer I was at the beach with my dad, in Florida, and then the rest of the year I was in Georgia. So I just always loved the beach. I love to fish and all that stuff. So I can get on a boat and have lines in the water in 5 minutes. Like it's amazing.
Ever think about running for governor of Georgia?
I don't want that gig, man. I don't know. I don't want that job.
So that's a no.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a politician by any means.
So that's a no.
That's a hard no.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm just getting
It's a
there.
hard
I'm
no.
trying
The
to hear
hardest,
it.
hardest of no's.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Whiskey drink. We're gonna play it again. This is the week that it goes number 1. I don't know. Give me a story about the song. I don't know what comes to mind. What's a little fun story about Whiskey Drink?
Whiskey. I think it was Whiskey Drink. Kind of came down to there was that song, and there's a song on the album called Who's Rearview. And both of those songs I thought were really, really cool, and was trying to kind of go back and forth between which one of those I wanted to be the single. And ultimately ended up, picking Whiskey Drink. And I don't know, it's just something about that chorus when it kicks into me is just like really catchy and little rock and roll. I don't know, it's cool. So, but Not really any crazy story other than it was just one of those songs that, our little crew got in and started when we started writing for the album. I mean, they were sending these things and they started getting on a roll where it was just sending these really cool songs. And that was one of them. It's like, man, we're cutting that as soon as we can. And so, and I didn't know if it was going to be a single because Whose Rear View I like so much too. So it kind of came down between those two and ultimately picked Whiskey Drink.
Will you ever go sing in the morning because your voice is deeper and that's tone is needed on a song?
Sometimes if it's a lower part that's, it's usually that'll be the ones we'll start with before my voice kind of, wakes up a little bit to try and hit the lower parts like that. So, yeah, we do that. Usually I'll try to tack those early on, and then once we get warmed up, kind of go back and sing like some of the big chorus stuff and all that.
Do you find if you wear a baseball cap, people mostly don't know it's you?
I think anymore that kind of goes out the window because I feel like there's a ton of pictures out there where I'm wearing a baseball cap, and so I feel like it's kind of people know. And a lot of times Britt's the one that gives it away. They go, I think that's him, and that's definitely her, and that's definitely him. Okay, so before she came along, I could kind of scoot around under the radar, and now when she's with me, it's like no chance.
Do you have a favorite guitar or one that you've had since you were a kid that you still keep around?
I had an old Takamine that I played, in the clubs when I was getting started, and my belt buckle that I used to wear had almost worn a hole in the back of it, and I was using it even when I got my record deal, and finally eventually retired it off the road. I got a Gibson deal, and they started giving me some guitars and stuff, so I took that one off the road. I think the Hall of Fame had it for a while, and so yeah. But now, I got probably 4 guitars that I've had for years, all Gibson custom stuff, and my acoustics. Those are kind of my babies, and then I got 2 Rickenbackers that I play when I play electric. So, and I've got a black one and a red one, and so yeah, those are my main rigs. But the one that my dad gave me when I was younger, and the one that I still have, I kind of retired it from the road.
When people are bringing you guitars and are switching them out, what's happening?
Different tunings. So for us, I mean, we do a lot of stuff at maybe in drop D tuning or, tuned down guitars or capoed stuff, whatever it is. It's like our tunings sometimes are really weird and all over the place. And so each guitar, a lot of times will have different tunings is why you're seeing them switched out.
Has your guitar ever broken and you just fake like you're playing it the whole time?
No, I mean, you'll have a string pop occasionally, which that doesn't even happen anymore. When you're techs, you get guitar techs that are keeping those things changed all the time. So, worst case, a string will bust and, they can kind of swap it out in the middle of the song a lot of times. So,
dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
They can do it that. Zit, 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 zit.
Well, they'll just bring another guitar.
Oh, never mind. I
and
thought like
just
a
swap
pit
it
crew.
out.
Like zit, zit, zit.
They'll go, tune one of those other guitars to where it should be, and then just come swap it out and go fix that one, and then,
Do you have a microphone that you can talk just to them?
Yeah. So usually right behind where I'm at, there's a talkback mic with a foot, like a button on it, and I can talk to the band and my crew and everybody without, anybody else hearing it. So. Ever
concerned that it accidentally goes out over the PA?
No, there is a speaker at front of house though, so that those guys can hear that, and sometimes people can hear that speaker back there, but it's fun. It's usually like, hey, I got whatever's going on. One of the band guys may have an issue going on, and it's kind of just that kind of chatter back there, whatever. So nothing crazy.
3 final questions. What's the least glamorous thing about touring?
Least glamorous thing. Maybe the travel part of it. It's just like it's fun to play the shows and do all that. It's it's the truck stop foods and all that kind of stuff sometimes, and that's kind of gotten better over the years too. So, yeah, I mean, I think the travel sometimes it can kind of get exhausting, especially when you're doing like West Coast run and you're out there for 3 weeks or whatever it is. And, you're staying on your bus or in a hotel or whatever for 3 weeks. And you're just like, man, I was ready to get home, So I think that's probably the least glamorous part of it. But even that's not that bad.
Do you encore? And if so, if the crowd just kind of meh, will you not encore?
I'm not a big encore guy. I feel like I hate when artists kind of bait them into that. It's like, oh, I'm not going to play one of my biggest songs so that you guys cheer when I'm done for me to come back out and do this, right? Like, and I always tell them, listen, I'm going to just play you guys everything we got, and when it's over, right? Like, that's it. I'm not going to go off stage for 5 minutes and wait for you guys to cheer for me to come back out. Like, let's just play everything we got. When we leave the stage, it's done. And so I've always kind of done it like that.
Have you ever taken a big fall on stage? A big one?
Mm-mm. No.
Like, I can't remember a video of you falling because those tend to go viral. I love them.
Yeah.
I don't remember one of you.
No, I've never had one. Now, that being said, you'll probably jinx it and I'll have one this year.
Yeah.
But,
You text me, you idiot.
but no, Luke's got some pretty epic ones, though.
Luke does have some
good
ones.
Steps on his cell phone, he busts his ass, and then, falling off stage. I don't know how many times. I'm surprised he's still alive. It's crazy.
I mentioned the tour here, and you got a lot of shows. Starting May 23rd, jasonaldean.com. You got Nate Smith, who I freaking love. That dude is killing it.
He's awesome. I love his voice. Super, super nice guy, and really excited to have him out. We got Ray Lynn going out with us this year, which I'm excited for her. She's got a new album and some new stuff going on that's really good. So excited to have them out and kind of get started.
And DJ Silver, who we used to know back in Austin at a bar. We were all just pups. And
Oh,
DJ,
yeah.
DJ Silver's playing a little bar we used to go to.
Silver is like, he's a hustler, man. He is like, when we're not on the road, he's flying to Vegas, or he's playing something here in town, or he's going to Mexico or Texas or whatever. I'm like, that guy travels and works more than anybody I've ever seen in my life.
Do you still get nervous when tickets go on sale to stuff?
I would call it more curious. It's like, man, how is it? Last year was great. Sold out everything last year. It was awesome. And it's like, you take a 6-month break or whatever to go in and make a record, or, all those things. And then you put the shows back up for sale, and you're just like, man, is it still going? Or are we still, because this business, it can change on a dime. So I think for me, it's, curiosity. I'll call Chris Parr or Brian O'Connell and be like, hey, how's it looking? And it's like, we're good. I'm like, okay, cool.
Last question. Do your kids think you're cool?
I don't know.
They've gotten older, so now they kind of see what's really going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think they get it. I think, it's just different. I mean, when they're your kids, I mean, your dad, you may do something cool, but, at the end of the day, they don't care. I mean, they don't know any different. To them, it's very normal and, whatever. So I hope they think I'm cool, and, part of the legacy I want to leave is for them and their families and all that stuff. And so if they don't think it's cool yet, I hope they will at some point.
Full Throttle Tour. You guys go to jasonaldean.com. Congrats on Whiskey Drink. Congrats on Friends Like That. I would imagine, I don't know, which one's cooler to you? The John?
Yeah.
I would think that would be it.
It's, I've been lucky enough to have, a lot of those on my own, and to make that happen for somebody else, for another young artist coming up that I truly believe in and think is a superstar in the business. That's cool. That's something I'd never done before, as a label head or whatever. So to have that one's pretty special.
Good to see you, man.
You too.
There it is. Jason Aldean, everybody. Woo. No breakfast and just crushed the internet.
Hey, Nutri-Grain bar.
Nutri-Grain bar,
Yeah.